Hello everyone, as you can see today, this is Janet Ranki. We are going to talk about the Canada Express entry. It's been long since I taught you about Canada. I mostly focused about America because this is where I am. But to be quite honest, when I started vlogging, Canada was also my specialization. And so many of you are now watching me from Canada because you used to watch me long time ago. And I took some break off. These days, I kind of focus on permanent residency, green cards, H-1B visas, J-1, things that I know if you go to the embassy, you'll actually get. So I try to focus my energy there. The last 2 weeks, I've been focused on EB3 green card in the United States, and I promise to come to Canadian Express entry. So I hope you enjoy this program. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we are going to look at is how to apply for express entry. I'm going to assume most of you or some of you don't even know where to start. And usually the best place to start is canada.ca. If you're one of those people who has issues with making applications, this is a good video for you, is to help you where to start. And after you do your own research and you get more information and you're still struggling, of course, this is where we step in, okay? As always, I leave my email, which is janetrangi67@gmail.com. And just to let you know that we also have a recruiter who is specialized in Canada applications, especially French speakers. The points are much lower, as we will see. But normally, if you have a Canadian employer, your points just go up, okay? So who can apply? First of all, the express entry, okay? So immigration programs, you are going to see three major applications here. The first one is the Canadian Experience Class, as you can see, and then the Federal Skilled Worker Program, and then the Federal Skilled Trades Programs. Let's start with the Canadian Experience Class. Okay, this one mostly, if you are not in Canada, you don't have to worry about this one. I'll be honest. Okay, this one is for those people who are already in Canada and they want to now get permanent residency. Okay, as you can see, the Canadian Experience Class is for skilled workers who have Canadian work experience and want to become permanent residents. Okay, so that's category number one. And they're going to explain to you the Canadian experience work experience in details, the language ability, education and admissibility, and where you can live in Canada. So that's the first group. And then they'll also teach you about NOC codes, and this one stands for the kind of career you chose. And for each NOC code, there are points to that, and I'll explain a little bit further. Now, let's come to the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Mostly these are people who are outside Canada. As you can see, this is for skilled workers with eligible foreign or Canadian experience. Okay, so those who are outside can also qualify for this one. So let us click this one. So Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Worker Program is for skilled workers who have foreign work experience and want to become permanent residents. Okay, and on this page you will see what skilled workers are. Okay, I can click the minimum requirements and the NOC codes. Okay, these are the codes you must know. For example, if you're a teacher, what is the NOC code for teachers? If you are a forester, what is the NOC code for foresters? If you are a business administration, if you are agriculture, and so on and so forth. So you need to know what your NOC code is. Okay, so these are terminologies. This video is just to familiarize you to make sure you understand. Okay, all right. For skilled workers, as you can see, they'll tell you the skilled workers, we choose skilled workers based on education, work experience, language skills, and other criteria. Let me spend time here because this is very, very important. Okay, they include managers, supervisors, people in jobs that usually need a university degree, a college diploma, or apprenticeship, okay, training. The reason I spend time here is to let you know that actually the Canadian Express entry is based on a point system. It's kind of complicated, but to keep it simple, normally, let's come like here. You see, they pay attention to what? Education. If you have a bachelor's degree points, if you have a master's points, if you have a PhD points. So in other words, if you have a PhD, you are more likely to get maximum points, followed by someone with master's, followed by someone with a bachelor's, then associate's degree. So meaning the more educated you are, the more points. The more work experience, okay, the more points you get. This one, language proficiency, is actually an equal opportunity. What do I mean by this? Normally you'll do an English exam such as IELTS, and you'll see IELTS has usually, I think, 4 parts. We have the spoken English, we have the written English, we have the listening skills, and we have the, I think, written skills or comprehension. And usually you score very well. So the higher you score in your English proficiency, okay, more points. So based on that criteria, and by the way, age, meaning you go and create a profile. So if you are young, more points. You are below 40, more points. You have a family who is already settled in Canada, more points. Okay. And I talked about education and work experience. So those are the things you're paying attention. So the first thing you need to do, honestly, in Canadian applications is to gather all the documents you need. And I'm making this easy for you so that when you go doing your own research, you'll be able to enjoy. Okay, and then last but not least, let's look at the Federal Skilled Trades Program. And what does this mean? Federal Skilled Trades Program is for skilled workers who want to become permanent residents based on being qualified in a skilled trade. Skilled trades, I think you need to see examples to understand, right? Okay, the sectors are here, for example. Construction is a skilled trade. Transportation, skilled trade. Manufacturing, natural resources and agriculture. All those are, again, for each category, you must know your NOC code. What is your code for your particular application or career? Okay, so as you can see, number one is to understand what is the express entry. Number two is to understand the different categories. As we can see, there are 3 major categories. When you're talking of express entry, you need to be very knowledgeable. The Canadian experience class, these people have Canadian work experience. Federal Skilled Work Program has both foreign and Canadian work experience. And the Federal Skills Trades Program, you can see as people who have, I like saying hands-on experience. There are these careers you might not have gone to college for long, but for example, a plumber, you have some education in plumbing, that is a good skill to have. You have a skill in carpentry, that is a very good skill to have. Okay, so key differences in eligibility criteria. Canadian language benchmark, the CLB, you will hear the word CLB a lot, which is used to measure English language proficiency of immigrants. So you'll see people saying, oh, I got a 7, CLB of 7. Or this year, the requirement for English, the people who are getting chosen have CLB of 5 or 6.5 or 7. Okay, then the National Occupation Code is what we are, is a list of all the occupations in the Canadian market. So you need to go through the list to see the skill listed, okay? And then the training, education, experience, and responsibilities here. It has 6 tier categories. A tier category is the education, training, and needed skills, okay? All right, so then you go through these skills, language skills. Okay, you can see CLB 7. Those are the things I was talking about. Tier, this is especially French. Okay, French, they also have their own requirements when it comes to the French exam. Type of work experience, you need to understand what it is. I'm not going to go into details. This is why I'm just breaking it down so you know that this thing is ongoing. Okay, amount of work experience, 1 year in Canada, 3 years, either combination of full-time and part-time. So you need to check the combo. Okay, this is now where I wanted to spend my experience. For Canadian experience, Canadian experience, you don't need a job offer. Of course, most people are already in Canada. Federal Skilled Worker Program, not required, you can get selection criteria points for having a valid job offer. And this one, I want you to pay attention to this, I'll be honest. So, someone who is in Canada, they might have a master's from a foreign education just like you. Maybe they are your age mate. When you add up the points, you are the same, you're similar. All of you are adding up to maybe 330 points. But where this person in Canada beats you is that they already have a valid job offer in Canada. And that just takes them over the edge. So let's say the cut point on that month is 430. They might have 470 just because they had a job offer. And you who did not all have a job offer, you are a foreigner, it's going to be very hard. As you all know, Canadian Express Entry is a point system, as I said. Then every month, sometimes even every 2 weeks, they run. Okay, they run the results of those who have created the profile. And they say, okay, this month of August, we are going to take anyone who has points above 430. And once you get selected now, you go to step 2, which is now, we call it invitation to permanent residency. That should be your goal, to be invited for permanent residency. And now there will be different requirements, but this is the bulk of the work. And by the way, this toolkit also has a way for you to go and test your points. You have up to 60 days, I think, after you create the profile to see how much you score. Okay, so you'll enter your age, your work experience, your education, your English proficiency results, if you have a Canadian job offer. And this is why we step in. The recruiter I have, plus the lawyer, usually they are connected to Canadian jobs. And this is where now they step in, okay, to boost you to the next level. Okay, and if you really want me to connect you to this recruiter, Janet Rangi 67@gmail.com, please indicate that you want that Canadian job experience. Okay, my opinion, they're not going to charge a lot of money. Okay, but I'm just letting you know this is nothing close to the EB3. This one is very, very affordable. Okay, all right. Today I'm not going to spend time on provincial nominee programs. This is another category altogether. Okay, but I just wanted to share with you that for you to do Canadian experience class, I mean, for you to do the Canadian Express Entry, this is the website here, Government of Canada. Okay, and you want to see here, let's see, Canada.ca. Okay, immigration and citizenship. You have to see this red flag here. And then you come to immigration programs, and I want you to go and study the Express Entry, okay, inside out. If you can't, again, I'll come here and share my email for you to come and get help from us. And I'm going to type my email in this box today, okay? Actually, it's janetrangi67@gmail.com. Let me stop sharing for now. Okay, so that was a brief explanation on Canadian, okay, Express Entry. Do not be left out. Okay, because some of us, we just wait for these programs that are giving you visit visas, student visas. Those things are tough these days. So I focus on permanent residency, and this is one of the ways that people go to Canada. If you did not know, that is Express Entry. Okay, again, I will leave my email here, janetrangi67@gmail.com. Okay, all right, let me hide this. Let me put here. I don't think I'll be able to type. Anyway, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please write to us. I've left my email more than 1,000,000 times. Okay, with Canadian explanations, please pay attention here. Janet Rangi. All you need is to add 67@gmail.com. Okay, I don't want to hear you saying, Janet, is it you? Is this you? Is it? No. I've told you my email. Alternatively, you can go to janetrangi.com. We have a Pulse package. If you want us to connect you to the recruiter, but as you can see, the Canadian Express Entry, having a job offer from Canada, having a Canadian employer is a big deal. And that is where I step in. Okay? All right. So thank you, guys. I will see you in the next video, and good luck. Okay?